Hey guys, so this is my third one-shot story that I've uploaded here in YouTube, and this will be the first time I'll be using my own voice to voice over my story. So I hope I didn't ruin my own writings due to lack of expression or feelings while reading it. So there. Disclaimer, I do not own the Haikyuu characters that are to be used in this story. Photos or covers were picked from Google, credits to the owner. A short warning, this one-shot contains spoilers came from the Haikyuu manga that wasn't yet animated. So if you're an anime watcher and you're not up for some spoilers, feel free to stop watching this video and proceed on looking for some other videos. But if you already read the ending of the Haikyuu manga and you're also looking for some twist from its original story, well, obviously you're looking for it since you're watching a fanfic story about Haikyuu, so feel free to continue watching this video. I hope you enjoy. And with that, Unspoken Words, a one-shot story featuring KageHina. Enjoy! At first, I disliked him. How he straightforward insulted me. What are you doing for the past 3 years? I know, it is just a simple question, but it has a big impact on me. I don't have a team to begin with, unlike him. He has the stature for playing the sport and I don't have that. It's like a slap by reality to me. And so, I vowed. Even if it took 10 or 20 years, I'll defeat you and I'll stand on the court the longest. The sting on my palm as I hit our first ever quick attack gave me excitement and satisfaction that I never had. His tosses were exceptional. I got addicted to it, so I keep asking for some tosses from him. I know Sugawara-san can give me some tosses, but Kageyama has a different kind of toss. Since then, we have always had extra practice just for spiking. Eventually, those extra practices become also our bonding time. We will do our homework together or just play some video games during weekends and there is no practice. We are not just rivals or teammates anymore. We are best friends. I never thought I would become friends with Kageyama. It feels like an achievement for me. We established a strong bond inside and outside the court. It's more likely we can easily understand each other, which took some teasing from the others. You're more like a couple. I just laughed it out and said it's not like that. But what is this feeling? Why is it like squeezing my heart? This feeling that I keep dismissing. It was our second year when I was able to put a term on this feeling. This feeling of comfort whenever I'm with Kageyama and anxiousness at the same time. Keep yourself hydrated, Boke. Giving me a water bottle. There is a heavy rain. Stay at my house instead, Boke. It will be dangerous for you to bike up the mountain and you might get sick. And as if adding fuel to the fire, those random acts of kindness he gave me put me in this situation. I'm in love with my best friend. This new information doomed me. I'm a boy and he is a boy, and we are in a society that some people are still not open or accepting. I laughed at myself. I'm confident with other things, but when it comes to my sexuality, I'm a coward. I'm afraid of what people will say. I'm afraid of what he will say. I don't want him to feel disgusted with me. I don't want to lose my best friend. He must not know about this. I thought it would be easier to ignore it, but this feeling keeps growing and I keep pushing it down to the deepest part of my heart. I tried to distance myself, but it will be too suspicious, or more likely I wasn't able to do it. Those beautiful blue eyes can easily break those defenses I construct. Whenever he pouts, it makes him so cute. But most of all, when he's inside the court, that handsome face of his, I was mesmerized by it. Maybe you should stop staring at him sometimes, Tsukushima once said. He caught me by surprise. I'm not sure what kind of expression I'm making that Tsukushima snapped me out by saying that he just observes me too much and he doesn't mean to scare me. Am I not that discreet that Tsukushima was able to notice? What if he knows? What will I do? Tsukushima was able to see. He will also know about it. I didn't notice that I was shaking until Tsukushima held my hand, which I flinched and put away. Breathe, Shōyō. I blinked several times before it registered to me that I wasn't breathing properly. I inhaled sharply and excused myself, heading to the comfort room. It is our high school graduation and also my last day in Japan. I'm heading to Brazil to try beach volleyball. After the ceremony, I head to the gym for a last farewell. I heard the squeak of sneakers inside, and as I looked, I saw Kageyama doing his serve. His form, his concentration, and everything about him were improving and kept getting stronger. As I stared at him, reminiscing those few years that we shared, all those bickering, all those wins and losses, and how I was still in love with him. Why don't you tell him about your feelings? Tsukushima randomly asked last time. Since that day, he kept randomly asking questions about my love life. Jeez, this guy. I can, I said. He stared at me and said, "You are a fool." I can't say these feelings to him, at least not yet. I have to get stronger too before I confess, so I can be qualified to stand by his side, whether he rejects it or not. That is why I was so determined to go that I had to improve on my own so I could fulfill my promise. As we part ways like a usual routine, I surprisingly received his serve and set it back to the cart. See you later, Kageyama. Being alone in a foreign land was the toughest thing for me. Language barrier, weather, sometimes being surrounded by random people. Yeah, I'm an extrovert, but being around without someone familiar to me is quite tough. Especially if you are too familiar with a certain raven-haired guy who was always beside you. When a particular perfect toss was sent to me, I was so excited that I muttered, "Did you see that, Kageyama?" But I was met by a foreign sound. "Nice skill, Shō." Right. I'm not in Japan. I'm not with Kageyama. Yeah, thanks. I missed him so much. 2 years gone by, I returned to Japan and was accepted in MSBY Black Jackals where Bokuto-san, Atsumu-san, and Sakusa-san joined. This is it. This will determine if I'm a worthy rival for Kageyama. This is it. That I will be able to confess my feelings for him. Atsumu-san sent a toss to me and spiked it, which the MSBY had its first point. I'm here! We won! I won against the king of the court. All those waiting, crying, and pushing myself to my limits were all worth it. I finally have my worth standing beside him. I'm full of determination to confess now. When we met in the hallway, we greeted each other and randomly caught up. I was about to open the topic about my feelings towards him and confess, but he beat me to it. I know you just returned, but as my best friend, can you attend and support me when I propose to my girlfriend tomorrow? Oh, I guess I'm too late then. Never thought you had a girlfriend, Kageyama-kun, I said as I laughed. Your brain was full of volleyball, I added. Kageyama just glared at me and then joined in laughing. Yeah, I never thought of it, he said. I would love to, but I have a flight to catch. I'm heading back to Brazil, I said. Good luck and congrats, Kageyama-kun. He stared at me as if assessing me. Oh, okay, thanks, he said. I have to go. Asumo-san might be looking for me. Bye, Kageyama, I said. I didn't wait for him to say goodbye as I fast walked towards our locker room as tears fell from my eyes. I was labeled before as the egotistical king of the court, but it was changed by no other than Hinata Shōyō. That's all in the past. I'm here. I will always spike all of his tosses, even how shitty it will be. That was the first time I felt a spark inside me. He kept asking for tosses which I wasn't able to ignore, and so we always have extra practice for our quick attack. Those random extra practices changed to random weekend video games or doing homework together, like a bonding time. And because of that, we established a bond that was stronger than it looked like. Some of our teammates randomly said, "You're more like a couple," which Hinata, as always the talkative between us, easily dismissed by saying we're not. I'm grateful that he said we were not, but deep down, I wish he said we were. You can say it is just a crush or something, but I know I'm in love with him. I was in love with my best friend even before we become best friends. It is love at first sight. Way back in middle school, that first time he ran fast and jumped, my breath was taken away. If you get really good, I promise to you, somebody even better will come and find you, my grandfather once said. I already know that someone already found me. I didn't confess. I'm not a coward. After all, we're talking about Hinata here. Either he will just ignore it, or will not understand it. Or I don't want him to get distracted from achieving his goal. This can wait. So, instead, I secretly took care of him, like reminding him to keep hydrated and handing over a water bottle. I randomly help him to pat some sweat, or if there is a thunderstorm, I offer my house instead of letting him bike home. There was some point when Hinata randomly distanced himself from me. I just easily dismiss it. Maybe he wants some alone time. But when it became frequent, I panicked, so I kept myself closer to him. You can say I'm a simp for Hinata Shōyō. His bubbly personality, those brown eyes that sparks every time someone talks about volleyball, or if he asks about some tosses. Everything about him, I love it. So when I saw that Tsukishima spoke something to him that made him horrified, I just controlled myself from punching that pinball. I'm quite curious what they're talking about that makes Shōyō uncomfortable. He was shaking. I want to hug and protect him. After they talk, Shōyō excused himself and heads to the comfort room. I secretly followed him, and as I entered, I heard him sob, which it broke my heart. Hinata? I called him. I headed to the last cubicle. It wasn't locked, so I slowly opened it and saw he cried, or more likely hyperventilating. He's having a panic attack. Hey, Shōyō, it's me, Tobio. I slowly approached him, holding his fisted hand, uncurling it and put it in my chest. I instructed him to follow my breathing while I comforted him. You're okay. Everything is okay. Just breathe. When his breath is back to normal, I hugged him and asked what the pimple asked him. He just said it was nothing, but I didn't believe him. It is not nothing if you had a panic attack. Just tell me about it if I need to punch that pimple. He just said he didn't want to talk about it and gave a smile but his eyes. His eyes gave a sadness, or more likely a broken feeling. And I vowed to myself that I will make sure he will not feel that sadness again. It was our high school graduation and also Shōyō's last day here in Japan. He is going to Brazil for beach volleyball while I was scouted to be a part of the Japan national team. I was doing my serve as a last practice in the gym when Shōyō suddenly popped up and received the ball, sending it to the volleyball court. "See you later, Kageyama," he said with a beaming smile. I stared at him and smiled. With all my feelings poured into my words, I said, "Yeah, see you later. I'll be waiting for you to come back." I guess my parents have a different plan for me. 1 year passed by and my parents start to randomly set me up for a blind date. I always told them I didn't have time for this and so on, but they always find some time to put me on a blind date. They knew I was gay. Well, more likely gay for Shōyō, but they still kept setting me up with girls. That makes me unhappy. My parents didn't say anything about my life, but I kept talking about the same guy with admiration and all. They escalated quickly. I met this girl. She's bubbly and outgoing, almost the same as Shōyō. She just has brown hair. She's not into sports, but she knows the basics of volleyball. So just to please my parents, we've become in a relationship. "Tobio, keep that girl. She's perfect for you. Ask her to marry you." My heart shattered. My parents didn't accept me as who I was. This will be the first time I will be able to see Shōyō up close. I was so excited to see him again. As they started to introduce the players, I patiently waited for him to be called, and once it happened, I saw him. His hair was shorter, and he gained some muscles but still short. His already tanned skin for staying long under the sun was quite fit for him. All those longings that I felt started to melt as our eyes met and saw the game start. Atsumu-san sent a fast toss, and Shōyō spiked it, gaining the first point of the set. "I'm here!" he shouted. "Took you long enough." They won. The whole crowd was cheering. He finally won against me, and I'm so proud of it. I was about to approach him, to hug him, to tell him how much I miss him, but I saw her standing in the crowd, giving her a sweet smile. Yeah, I can't do that. I've already lost the opportunity to tell him what I feel. When we accidentally meet in the hallway, we greet each other and we talk randomly, catching up. I saw how happy he was and how he sounded excited. I stared at him, savoring the moment. At least, for the last time, I will be able to have this for me. When he stared at me with his loving smile, I almost wanted to change my decision, but I didn't want my parents to hate me. I know you just returned, but as my best friend, can you attend and support me when I propose to my girlfriend tomorrow? Please say no. They say that you also love me. Never thought you had a girlfriend, Kageyama-kun. He laughed, averting his gaze. Your brain was full of volleyball, he added. I just glared at him and then joined in laughing. Yeah, I never thought of it, I said. Please, don't leave me. I would love to, but I have a flight to catch. I'm heading back to Brazil, he said. Good luck and congrats, Kageyama-kun. I stared at him and saw that sad look in his eyes. The same eyes I saw before that I vowed not to let him feel it again. I broke it. Oh, okay, thanks, I said. I have to go. Atsumu-san might be looking for me. Bye, Kageyama, he said, not waiting for my reply. He started walking away from me. I stared at him as his figure slowly faded, and my tears started to fall. I love you, Shōyō. Kageyama prepared everything for his proposal. He even invited the old Karasuna team, and everyone was surprised that Kageyama had a girlfriend, which made him laugh. It was the day of his proposal. One by one the guests came. His close friends, obviously the old Karasuna and his current team, his and the girl's parents, but he still keeps looking at the entrance, waiting for the orange-haired boy to show up. He knew he had a flight to catch, but he wished it was not true and would join him, at least to give him the courage to change his decision. But until the time came, Hinata didn't show up. As he planned, as they danced, he looked at the girl and smiled. He held her hand, he looked at the ground, and as he slowly got down on one knee, a single tear fell. As he took out the velvet box and looked up again, instead of the girl, he saw Shōyō in front of him. And so he said what he was supposed to say for him. Filtered to be exact, because in reality, it wasn't Hinata Shōyō. How he wished it was Shōyō. How he wished it was him that would hear his undying love for him. How he wished it was Shōyō who will end up crying and say yes. The girl smiled at him, wiped his tears and said, You are the most caring and loving person that the whole world wants. And I love you because of that, but I know I can't replace him in your heart. He is the one who should stand beside you forever. Him? Him? She knows? Kageyama thought to himself. Stand up, my dear. Go. You have to speak those unspoken words to him, Tobio. This is your last chance. Everyone was shocked by this, but kept their mouths shut. They know what the girl said was true. He stands up from his place as he clenches his hand on the ring. He held her hand one last time and kissed it as gratitude and said, Thank you. The girl watched as Kageyama sprinted out of the place. Are you sure about your decision? Tsukishima was already standing beside the girl when he asked her. The girl just stared at him and smiled. We all know they're meant to be together. I'm just a short inconvenience to their story. Don't be harsh to yourself. You'll find a perfect guy for you, he said as he patted the girl's head. Fuck airport traffic, Kageyama exclaimed. He took some cash without counting and gave it to the cab driver. Keep the change. He was thankful for the intense training he had in volleyball. He was able to ensure the running. He reached the terminal where the flight bound from Miyagi to Brazil. It was already boarding, and he was already losing hope to see Hinata, but an orange map was seen in his peripheral vision. Hinata Shōyō, I shouted. and everyone in the area heard it. I saw him at the entrance of the boarding area. His brown eyes were so big but had a rim of red due to crying. He was surprised. I ran towards him while he moved out of the line. "What are you doing here?" Instead of responding to his question, I hugged him. "Don't go. Don't leave." I broke the hug and held him on both his shoulders. I stared at his sparkling eyes. Oh, I really love his eyes. "I love you. Since the first day I saw you, from every toast you asked, from every bicker that we had, from every bonding time we made, from every punishment we received from Daichi-san, we both chuckled. From every win and lose until now, I love you, Shōyō. I always do. You can hate me or feel disgusted at me. I don't care. I just want you to know that I love you, romantically. But I hope you're not disgusted so the ring won't get wasted," I said as I cried, finally relieved that I was able to say it. He punched me slightly on my chest. It hurt. I almost blurted an insult at him, but when I looked at him, he was crying. "I hate you. I hate you because you blurted it out so easily." I was shocked by what he said. "You win? I just know that I love you when we were second year," he said as he wiped his tears. "But you're supposed to marry your girlfriend, right?" She let me go. She said that you're the one who should be standing beside me forever rather than her. "Oh, okay," he said, calming himself. "So, is it a yes?" I asked. "Ask properly, you idiot. Not just saying you wish the ring won't be got wasted," he said. I laughed and got down on one knee, which is now in front of the man that I love and cherish. Hinata Shōyō, the person who changed my life for the better. Will you be my queen? I asked as I held the ring. He smiled at me and said, "I prefer to be called king also, but I'll take the queen for now." "Yes, Toby." I put the ring on his ring finger, which thankfully fits. Everyone in the airport cheered for us as we shared our first kiss. "You're going to pay for my flight cancellation," Shōyō said as we broke the kiss. "I will," I said. That's quite long. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you like it, consider subscribing by clicking the subscribe button. See you on the next one. Bye bye.